African American?
The one in the middle.
The one in the middle.
Yes. And no, she's no longer African American, but she was African American. This is from somebody who was African American.
Now she's a child.
So I've never had any person on the cadaver tables in my lab, because what I get are remains of people. No longer a person there; it's just remains. Okay, so let me see if there it is. Okay, so now, no, let's see, is that still surviving, or did it get just twisted around underneath?
That's too high for ass cheeks.
Right, let me see if I have it on this one. Oh, yeah, here.
I'm going to chase Lydia around.
It's on this one. So look at this.
Cardi?
Yeah, the pericardium. So I had to incise it so that I could expose the heart, but I saved a substantial part of it over there. So that's something you have to know.
She was definitely overweight, right?
She was not a lot overweight. She was some over. Yeah, she was some overweight. Now this is from a woman who, this is from a woman who died at 92 years of age.
Wow.
And
She's a big girl.
now I no longer have her lower appendages; they were worn out from handling. But she had pretty substantial lower appendicular muscles. I think she was doing a lot of walking, even to the end. Yeah, that helped her. Now there's so much other interesting things here, but now I'm not going to hunt for this right now, but just note this. When I find the appropriate piece of pericardium, let's see if it's here. You can see a nerve traversing it on the side. I don't see that right now, which is the phrenic nerve. It runs over here and it goes to the diaphragm. And it has to descend from the cervical region because the primordium of the diaphragm arises in the cervical region and then descends. So the nerve follows it. Now, what's this thing over here? Yeah, that's the diaphragm.
Oh, let me see a diaphragm.
Now, this one
That's
is...
it?
Yeah.
Just tissue?
Well, it's a muscle around the central tendon of dense irregular connective tissue, with the muscle fibers radiating, to attach the sternum, ribs, costal cartilages, and to an extent to the vertebral column. So when they contract, they all pull on the central tendon, and the diaphragm descends, expanding the intrathoracic space, creating a potential low pressure area in there. So air has to, but that never fully materializes because air rushes in to equalize the pressure. I discussed this in Bio 8 in detail. So there's the diaphragm, and you should know what it does. Here's the diaphragm in this one. That one may be better. There's more diaphragm surviving in that one. So here's some diaphragm in this one. There's not as much surviving. I would ask it in that one. So for things like that, the probability I'm going to ask is 100%. I'm not going to leave that out of the exam. Now, what is this large organ over here?
Liver.
Yeah, the liver. Now, what is this thing over there? There's a gallbladder. This didn't have bile in it at the time of death, so it isn't green. They don't have to be green, they don't have bile. So there's a gallbladder. Now, then, what is this organ over here? The stomach. Yeah.
Let me see his stomach.
This is a constricted stomach. That
Oh,
one
I think it just squirted
that's
when you
possible.
squeezed
Now,
it.
that one has a distended stomach, so I can contrast it. Now look at this stomach. There's something pretty close to that J shape that it has when it's constricted, and then you should know the margins. What's this border called?
Greater curve?
Correct, the greater curvature. What's this border called there?
Lesser curvature.
That's right. And this is the ventral surface. Now, what is... let me see if I can show that on this one. I may have to use that one to show it. Now, here we have the body of the stomach, and here we have the pyloric region. And the constriction right over there is where the pyloric sphincter is. So what I'm holding right here is duodenum. Okay. So it's the body of the stomach, the pyloric region, the pyloric sphincter, the duodenum. Now, let me see if I can show the other part over here. I don't think I can quite get that out anymore. There's a dome-shaped top which is called the fundus. And now that's so distended that it's a little misleading. Now, extending from the greater curvature, there's this. What is this?
Small intestine?
The greater omentum.
Greater omentum. I never
Yes.
heard of it.
Yeah, so you should know about this. This is a sheet of
Seriously, I never heard of it. What is it?
a mesothelial type of connector of epithelium. Two cells thick, but with adipose tissue associated with it. So, in a person with adiposity, there's fat in those vacuoles. Now, this is interpolated between the coils of the intestine and the parietal peritoneum lining the abdominal cavity, isolating.
So that's a lining of the abdominal cavity
We have
in
to
your
talk
hand?
one at a time. Isolating the moving intestinal coils from the peritoneum. Now, the peritoneum is not here, then the parietal peritoneum is not here because the abdominal wall is not here. That's the inner layer of the abdominal wall.
Oh,
An
okay.
epithelium one cell thick. Now, the epithelium which covers this is called the visceral peritoneum.
That one I know.
Okay, so now,
But wait, wasn't that a liver in your hand just now? I mean, a kidney in your hand?
no,
That's not a kidney?
no, this is a kidney.
I think you dropped it.
I mean, what am I saying? Liver, kidney. Oh, that's not a kidney?
No,
What's
this,
that? Is that what you're looking for?
this, no, this is a
Woman
kidney.
usually gets it right on belly.
Now here,
Yeah.
there's the other kidney. Now this is, I think this is tucked under.
It's protrusion of the stomach. Not stomach, the intestine.
Right. Put it
I
close
might have to
that
show it
lining
on
you were showing.
that one. Okay, so before I go to that one, then past the duodenum, we have this.
That's the small intestines.
Yeah, so this is the rest of the small intestine. It's jejunum plus ileum. I-L-E-U-M, or intestine. And then you should know what this membrane is that suspends it from the dorsal body wall. What's that? Yeah, the mesentery is correct. Now, I don't know if you can see it from that side, but from this side, I have it transilluminated.
You don't see it from this side.
Yeah, so you see blood vessels in it? Yeah. Those are mesenteric or intestinal blood vessels. The arterial ones come from the superior mesenteric artery. Do you see that?
Yes, we do.
Those blood vessels? Okay. Now here, this is the very last part of the small intestine right over there. What's that? Therefore, of which region is this a portion? Ileum. So this is the terminal ileum. And then right over here, this is cecum. This is the cecum, distended. Right over here is where you'd find the ileocecal valve, also called the ileocecolic valve, the ileocecal, the ileocolic valve. Now look at this.
Do they have an appendix?
Ta-da!
Yeah, there's the vermiform appendix, right over there. Okay. Now here, this is ascending colon, right here. And now, you should know that the colon has naturally occurring diverticula called colic saculations or haustra. H-A-U-S-T-R-A.
We go by Haustra.
Yeah. Colic saculations or haustra, not to be confused with another institution of higher learning on Hempstead Turnpike.
Haustra.
That's something else. That's haustra colics on Hempstead Turnpike.
Why am I the only one that laughs at his jokes? It's hysterical. That's funny.
Well, I had students visit from Hofstra. When I told that joke, they didn't laugh.
I laughed.
They looked annoyed. This is a primate specialization. So if we looked at the large intestine in an actual carnivore, which we are not, they don't have any of these haustra or colic saculations. Now, the intestines have a double layer of muscle in their wall. a layer of circular muscle and a layer of longitudinal muscle. In the primate large intestine, the longitudinal muscle is just confined to 3 bands. Can you see a reflection on a longitudinal strip over there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's called one of the Taenia coli. That's longitudinal muscle. So now where the haustra are, there isn't any longitudinal muscle. There's only circular muscle, which means that this is less heavily muscled, not adapted for expelling hard stool.
Oh,
So
that's
whereas
gonna be a problem.
a cat or a dog with a large intestine is fully muscled and that doesn't have any of these diverticula, so they're well adapted for expelling hard stool. So we need a softer stool, which is produced by having fiber in the diet. So, well, given the nature of our large intestines, we really don't do well when there isn't sufficient fiber in the diet. Then you get hard stool, which tends to impact in these diverticula, and then that reduces the transit time to too low. And then especially if you're eating excess protein, then you have the coliform bacteria taking the amino acids that they don't need, because they don't need a lot of them, since they're only unicellular, and deaminating them, releasing ammonia, and then using the keto acids that are left after deamination to feed into their Krebs cycle, to get energy. Now the ammonia attacks the lining of the gut. So we can deal with a little ammonia, but if you have a lot of ammonia from too much protein, hyperproteinemia, as it's called, and a low transit time from low fiber hard stool, that combines to give ammonia lots of time to attack the lining of the gut and create growths called polyps. Some of them may be precancerous, but then it's followed by cancerous ones. Okay, so therefore, if you're sensible, you'll eat a diet fit for humans, which a low-fiber diet isn't. And that's because of the nature of our large intestines in part. Okay.
Or if you just stick with Mexican food, then you're good, right?
Yeah, well, if you're eating grains and legumes, which is included a lot in Mexican food, that would be good. Yeah, that's
What about
true.
cheese?
Cheese, well, some cheese I suppose is okay. I don't eat it, but if you eat, if you don't have the fiber to counterbalance, if cheese has 0 fiber in it.
Like, I mean like yogurt. Yogurt.
Yes, yogurt has 0 fiber.
Oh, it's
So
not good.
you have to have plant. The only sources of fiber are plant
I
sources.
thought yogurt was good for digestion and stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't have fiber.
That's more for healthy bacteria for the lining.
No animal. The animal products have 0 fiber. So you have to incorporate plant. You have to become a vegetarian. You have to incorporate plant materials into your diet to get fiber. It's a necessity. Now, if let's see what time is it?
3:30.
Okay. So I can spend like another minute on this, and then I want to go further on these things. If you have a low-fiber diet, that increases transit time. It takes longer for things to pass through. Now, if you're defecating every day, that doesn't mean that you have a 24-hour